Okay, welcoming back on the Second Swing Thoughts podcast. We once again have the McCauley sisters, Bella and Reece, for the fourth part of our mini-series here. And this one in particular, as you can maybe see and tell by the apparel here, is going to be focused on Augusta and Bella's invitation to play in the Augusta National Women's Amateur. One more time, I'm going to run through the accolades that may have earned you the invite, so to speak. So you've won 2 college invitationals outright. You won the share of the Big Ten title last year. You've qualified for back-to-back national championships as an individual. And then I believe it was top 30 ranking in the world for Americans, right? Is that what it was for amateur golfers?
Yeah, so for those golf nerds out there, it's based off like the Wager system, and then it's top 30 our American players, and then top 30 international.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you obviously fell into that top 30.
Yeah.
I guess my first question is just going to be on, I think this event was first hosted or played, was it 2019, I believe?
I think so.
When that happened, did it become a goal right away, or did it even think about it? It did, okay.
Yeah, so I can vividly remember watching, I think at that time I was in probably like 9th grade or something, can vividly remember watching Jennifer Kupcho and Maria Fassi playing, and it like immediately marked it and I think it marked for like a lot of girl golfers, just because it was like such a milestone in Masters or just Augusta National history with this being like the first women's event, and then the fact that it wasn't a professional event, but it actually was amateur. It's just kind of cool. And so I think immediately it became like a goal, along with like many other girl golfers across the country. And so, yeah, this has just been like a dream come true from the beginning. And even growing up, just like, oh my gosh, I just really would love to like play there once in my lifetime. Or can you imagine like if a women event was there, and to actually see it happen like during the time that I'm playing and then be able to play at it is just it's just so surreal.
Yeah, that's it's really cool that they're doing it, for one.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool way to grow the game, get more visibility in the women's game as well, because what you've seen now too is a lot of these players that have played in that event and contended, especially, and they're on TV and everything, they then end up turning professional and going on the LPGA tour, and then a lot of times there's a familiarity with that name.
Yes.
So the event is April 2nd through the 5th.
Yep.
And as you kind of talked about, the top 30 world ranking internationally, and then Americans in the amateur rankings. A total of 72 are in the field. After 36 holes, the top 30 advance to the final round, which is going to be held at Augusta National Golf Club.
Yes.
And then I believe is it a practice round that day before? Is that how
that
works? So it's like a Thursday, Friday, Sunday deal?
It's actually like really, it's kind of a funny system the way they have it, but like you arrive Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday are like your practice rounds at a different course other than Augusta. It's at Champions Retreat. And then Wednesday, Thursday are your first 2 rounds, and that is at Champions Retreat.
Got it. Okay.
And then Friday they take like actually a break from the tournament, so the whole field can play Augusta. And then those that made the cut, the top 30, go on to play Saturday in the final round at Augusta.
Okay.
So either way, that allows for like either way the whole field is able to play Augusta, even if whether you make the cut or not. But it's obviously like the goal to like make it to the final day.
And what I guess went through your mind when you realized, like, at a certain point you kind of figured, hey, I'm probably going to get this invite. I'm in the top 30. What was going through your mind at that point?
Yeah, well, so I knew it was close, like especially in the summer, and I knew that a lot depended like on the fall season and how I did there, and so and we had 4 events in the fall, so and just kind of like the way it is in golf, obviously you don't want to put too much pressure on yourself or anything, and so I was really just trying to like keep it out of sight, out of mind. Like I had it, like I realized, okay, it's close, obviously a lot depends on this. We're just not going to think about it for like those 5 weeks. And so I really didn't. Like I just kind of like tried to put it out of my mind. And then after the fall season, like immediately that like I give a call to my dad, and I was like, okay, like what's this looking like? And of course he had like been like figuring it out all season, but just didn't want to tell me. And, and
he was figuring it out like to the number too.
Oh my gosh, he was like
so like I did all the math for it.
And and it's like obviously like the ranking system is like based on like an algorithm and like things like that. And he's like, He's like, I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out the algorithm. And I'm like, Dad, you're not like really like analytically talented. And he's just like, no, I have this figured out. And he really did. Like,
Yeah,
he's
he
like,
sometimes is.
no, like in this way.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
When
in
he
golf
puts his
stuff,
mind
he
to
is.
it,
Okay.
he is. And I'm like,
Mhm.
wow, he's
He's
really
really
got
analytical
this.
with golf stuff.
He's like,
actually.
based on my calculations, like you should end up around like 20, like 2 or 3, and which exactly like what happened. And I was like, wow, he's just on top of this. But yeah, so I kind of had a good idea then. And then like for those again that are like keep up with golf really well, like Q schools in like November, December. So obviously a lot of people that turn pro like drop out of the amateur ranking system. So like a lot of people exit then. And then so like in December I had a really good idea that I was in it, just because there's like not like as many college events going, like there's no college events going on, and then there's only like a few amateur events that like where rankings could fluctuate. So I had a really good idea in December, and I was just it was cool but it was kind of a different thing, because it's not like it was just a surprise. Like it was a slow buildup of like knowing that it's probably going to happen. But then of course when I got the invitation, it's just a really
I was gonna say,
moment.
in kind of a weird sense that I mean, obviously it's a really cool moment and it's
Yes.
cool to get the invitation, but it's a little bit different in that you kind of knew in a sense it was coming.
Yeah, and we like all got an email. I think like anyone that was like potentially in that like list or like cut line got an email in like December saying, hey, this is not an invitation, but like we want to confirm your address and like whether you're staying like amateur or turning professional. And so, and then like the invitations go out. They're like invitations would go out second week of January. Like again, this is not like saying that you're automatically in, but like just to clarify. So that like, because obviously there's people that like might turn pro like between now and Augusta, and so they have to like figure that whole thing out too. So
Wow.
And then you got a like an email saying like, hey, like you got a package delivered from Augusta National.
yeah, so that's actually
and we were just
how
like
I
sitting
found
down like
out.
having breakfast.
Yeah, so
with
we
some
were
friends.
gone. We were in Arizona, like playing golf, just having a good time. And I literally look at an email, and I get UPS scam. I don't know if anyone else is like the same way, but like I get like you know, like the UPS SS whatever, and it's like okay.
Oh yeah. When
and it's like your package needs like you need like
need-
information to finish
Sure.
your package, get delivered.
Some
And I look
fellows,
at it, and so I'm like about to delete it, and then it says like from Augusta National, like arriving today, and I'm like, oh, okay. And so that was like kind of cool, because it was like that's how I found out. And then we didn't even get home for a couple days, so my parents were like had it on the mantle. They were like, we're not gonna open it, and then we got home and then I opened it. So it was just like a saga of like how the invitation
the
was a
anticipation, I'm
process.
sure, from your parents to like not open this thing. From
Oh my
Augusta
gosh,
National.
my dad was like
Our mom's
taking
probably just like,
pictures
yeah.
of the box, and I'm just like, dear heavens, like this
That's
is so
funny.
funny.
That's funny.
And then our mom's just like, yeah.
Mom's just like,
I'm
oh
just happy for you.
yeah, yeah. She's
That's
like,
really
have
cool.
fun.
That's cool. Well, Reece, from your perspective then, because obviously you've been, watching, and it sounds like there's kind of been this, you've been monitoring the rankings and everything with, your dad and stuff. So was there, I mean, obviously, what are your thoughts and feelings watching Bella, end up getting this invitation?
Oh my gosh, I'm just so excited for her. Yeah, it's just so exciting. I mean, I wasn't really like looking at the rankings like my dad was, but I was like being informed of it. Like I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is a possibility. And I was just like supporting her, like the tournaments. I remember that, like the last couple of the fall, that she's like, I kind of have to like play good in this, like for sure if I want to go. And so I just remember like encouraging her and just being like, hey, just trying to keep her loose and not get too uptight.
Right, because I mean, there's probably an element of like you want to, for you especially, Bella, of like you're trying to play well for yourself, for the Gophers, for your teammates.
Yeah.
There's this little part of in the back of the mind
was in
that's
the
like,
back of our mind,
also the Augusta National Women's Amateur is in the spring, and I
Yes.
kind of want to qualify for that too. So it's trying to
Yes.
balance those things and still also like stay in the right mental space for the shots. So
Totally.
I'm sure you're helping with that.
No, and I was like, okay, like if I play good, then like she'll be just like more motivated to play good, and then she'll get to it. No, but I'm just super thrilled for her. Like it's just she's been talking about it for a couple of years now, so it's just really exciting to see a dream come to reality for her.
So are you gonna go watch?
I will be watching.
Okay.
Yeah. We actually have a college tournament.
It's so confusing.
Yeah, like leading up to it, and so we figured out that I can
I'm not playing
fly.
that.
Yeah, that like I can fly straight from that tournament to Augusta, watch her tournament day 1.
Like round 1.
Yeah, just round 1,
Okay.
and then fly back that night because then I have classes and practice.
So
and workouts
unfortunately,
and
like she won't be able to be at Augusta to watch.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
but also
but-
be able to watch it at the other courses.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah.
So I get to experience it. So.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, so now again, I obviously it's really cool, and to receive that honor is probably like she said, it's a dream come true. At what point now, and maybe this isn't, it's still, we're a ways yet. I mean, we're recording this a few weeks earlier. Is there are you setting goals? Are you thinking about it? Are you strategizing at anything? Or are you still trying to stay like kind of present now? If you
No.
have events to play leading up to that,
Yeah.
before that, so I guess. Is there a moment where you're going to maybe start to maybe turn on that competitive mindset and think, okay, now I have to, beat
Yeah,
some of these
I
people?
don't know. I kind of always try to have like similar mentalities going to any tournament, and that's just like to try my best and play my best. I think like leading up to Augusta, I might like have a couple more club checks and like work on a couple of different shots specifically that I know like around the greens I might be in need of a little bit more with like high shots or things like that. And then I would say really like, I would say honestly, it's kind of going to sound crazy, but it's probably like the tournament I think I'm going to have like least expectations at, or like the least amount of pressure, to be honest, just because my sole goal was just literally to get there. And I mean, obviously it would be amazing to play the final round and do well, but that's really not like the ultimate goal of this for me. And like truly like the big thing was just making it, and so I'm really just gonna be soaking it all in and just like realizing that this could be a once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah.
And so I'm really just like focused on that, so I really don't feel like a lot of pressure at all, which
Yeah.
is kind of crazy.
Yeah, because I
But,
think
yeah.
it is a little bit nice too that that you will get to play the
Yes.
course regardless.
Yeah. No, exactly. I think
so-
if that wasn't the case, it would like definitely bring things
Yeah.
up a notch. But just the way it is, they're like the whole event, like from what I've heard at least from different people that have played in it, just they make the experience so amazing, like whether you make the cut or not. So
Yeah.
it'll be awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, and do you feel a sense? I mean, again, I'm not trying to like try to totally hyperbolize things a little bit, but the first gopher to do so, and it's a relatively new event, but still you're the first gopher to receive the invitation. Do you feel a kind of sense of another sense of accomplishment in that regard too? I mean, I guess there's all these things that are at play here with this honor that you've received. So have you taken a step back to look at that, or not really?
Not really, just because again, we've kind of like alluded to it in a previous episode, but when we're just like in our when we're just playing and like you're in the day-to-day grind of just like another tournament, or like trying to just have a good time and like focus on your schoolwork, like it's not really like something in the forefront of my mind of like, oh my gosh, all this stuff happened. And I think eventually like that might sink in, but for the most part, you kind of just go about and like do your day-to-day and continue to practice and just get better and play your best. And that's really like all I can control or focus on, and that's just kind of what I try to do is stay present.
That's true. Our coach talks all the time about like just controlling the things that we can control,
Yes.
and then the uncontrollables, just try not to get too obsessed with them.
Yeah, so like for me, like an uncontrollable is just like, I don't know, like records or things like that.
Right.
Like, and I'm just
I
like,
suppose,
okay,
yeah.
I'm just gonna try my best.
Yeah, those are what they are. You can't change
Exactly.
anything
Control
later,
doing your best, yeah.
So I guess Reece, now is this a goal of yours to
Yes.
to reach, achieve what Bella has with this?
Yeah, I mean, it's like kind of the peak, I guess, that you can do like as an amateur, and so it definitely is a goal, but I'm just gonna kind of take it 1 year at a time.
Yeah.
And, like the same thing, just like control the things that I can, just be disciplined and do my best and see what happens. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, again, to sort of reiterate, April 2nd through the 5th is when the event is. As we talked about with the format, Wednesday, Thursday, the first 2 rounds are at the Champions Retreat course, and then top 30 of the 72 advance to the final round at Augusta National. So I know we'll be following it very closely here at Second Swing, and as we in the last episode talked with Aaron, your fitter, I know he's like trying to, he'll be following everything that you compete in this spring, of course, when that one, and then, of course, it'll be on TV too. That last round is always on TV.
So tune in, guys.
So it'll be fun. But yeah, thank you guys for stopping in and, spending some time with us, sharing your perspectives and on the game of golf, on the life of college golfer, all these things. It's been really cool to get the inside perspective. There'll be more stuff coming with McCauley's as well throughout the 2025 year. So
Absolutely.
Bella and Reece,
Awesome.
thank you so much. This has been
Yeah.
awesome. We wish you guys the best of luck, not just at Augusta, but of course in any of the spring events here and moving forward.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, as always, this is a blast, so thank you.
Yeah, we're honored to be here.